Hello and welcome to the Body Surf Podcast with your Budgie Boys. A very special episode for you this afternoon. We're coming out of Newcastle. It's the night before the Flatrock Invitational, and we've got two very special guests joining me in our little makeshift studio. We've got Owen Hancock and Hamish Christie. So let's start the show, boys. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Tim. How are you?
Jeez,
yeah,
fucking hell, you're coming in hot.
Woo!
Alrighty, I'm gonna get out of the way. I might just lie down on the hotel bed and have a bit
Timmy's
of a.
got a pretty good setup here.
Oh,
This is bougie, man.
alrighty,
He's paid the big bucks for this room.
mate, living the dream. Doing a gig in Newcastle tonight at Newcastle Comedy Club,
Oh, cool.
and then calling the Flat Rock Invitational tomorrow. I'm very excited about this. Now, Owen, you've been involved in the Flat Rock competition for like many years. You've actually won it a few times as well.
Yeah, once. I keep coming second though, or third. I'm a bridesmaid a lot of the time. But
Yeah.
yeah. Probably 2012 was the first one.
Yeah. Talk us through a bit about how the competition work. I mean, we've heard a lot about it. We've had the organisers on the podcast. We've had Corey Sainsbury on the podcast, who's competed a few times and done quite well. But talk us through the format of the competition and how it's all going to work tomorrow.
It's pretty low key. Hey, it's pretty loose. We typically everyone gets to surf twice, which is a good thing. Everyone gets at least 2 heats. Then a semi or straight to a final, depending on what the surf's like. There's been times we've had to call it afterwards, but yeah, it's pretty much just a rock up, talk shit, have a barbecue, get 2 heats in at least, and then
As all the best body surf competitions are.
It's not too serious. It's not too gnarly. It's a bit of fun. Yeah.
And what sort of obviously it's a bit of a reefy rock break.
Yeah.
What are we looking like in terms of conditions for tomorrow?
I just came from there, and it's a bit big and lumpy at the moment. Looking at the report, though, it's supposed to go offshore early. Hopefully a bit of westerly hangs around and cleans it up. But there should be a bit of size either way. Nice few hollow, sort of sucky below sea level takeoffs.
And you were sort of saying it started off pretty small, 10 people were competing here and there, and tomorrow you're expecting, 20 to 30 competitors?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I mean, it's been going since well before my time. Greg Mayers was running it before it got passed over to Ryan, who's doing most of that now, and that was late 90s, early noughties, and it was pretty good back then too. Like, I don't know how big body surfing comps typically are, but as far as a body surfing comp goes, it was a little bit smaller a couple of years ago, less people coming from outside of Newcastle, but I don't know, it seemed to open up in the last couple that I've been to at least. I've missed the last 3 from other things, but for a while there we had a few people coming down from Queensland and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's getting bigger.
What sort of body surfer does it appeal to? Is it someone who likes a big old wave? Is it someone who likes a bit of shorey on a reef? Is it someone who's riding big old hand planes or going out freestyling?
It's always been freehand only. There's never been hand planes allowed. Nice. So that sort of weeds out a few people that are reliant on a hand plane, if you know what I mean. It depends as well on the day, because sometimes it can just be a big closeout, like a big sucky takeoff into a closeout. But if it's a little bit smaller, on the 3 to 4 foot size, you'll get a big long open wall after the takeoff. So you'll get a lot of people that do really well, who double, triple barrel rolls and dolphin takeoffs and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it is, I guess, on the body surfing's spectrum of things, it's probably a higher performance sort of wave. Like, it's not like a shits and giggles sort of like beach break sort of thing. Yeah, it's a pretty challenging wave to ride well.
It's interesting. We're starting to see a lot more official body surfing comps take away the hand plane, and I think it's a good thing. It becomes a battle of the flippers. Yeah. Who's got the best fins on the day? Who's getting the most propulsion on these sort of waves? So it's going to be interesting to see who's wearing the DMCs, who's wearing the Defins, who's wearing the hydros.
Forever, man. I'm a duck feet guy. I can't get off them, mate.
So that takes me to, I guess, my next question. How did you get into body surfing? It sounds like you may have had a bodyboard background.
Yeah, definitely grew up riding everything. Yeah, longboard, shortboard, bodyboard, then body surf. That was just the upbringing. But the first time I started to really body surf, like actively, like going out just to body surf, was probably when I was about 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. When do you get your Ps?
17.
Right then. Yeah, right then and there was when I first started to go, I think you can actually really make a decent go at body surfing as an actual way of riding a wave instead of just having fun after you've had your surf lesson as a kid or whatever.
So you already had a pair of ducks and you were just like, all right, let's just get out there.
Yeah. It was something like that. Yeah, it was.
I don't need the BZ anymore. I can just jump in with.
Yeah, it was actually on like a surf trip as a kid that I really sort of like the fire got lit because we were at Point Plummer, which is like the worst wave for body surfing imaginable. Like it's like a longboard wave. Like we were on a longboard trip.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna have a go at body surfing. And it was like 2 foot sloppy little growler point break sort of thing, and I swam out and got one, and I had to tuck for speed because it was so slow. But I rode the whole point, start to finish, and then I was like, oh, hang on, yeah, you can actually do more than just shories with body surfing. So that was probably like a pretty pivotal, like, oh, hang on, this is a viable way of riding a wave rather than just a goof off.
Well, that's where I started body surfing. A place called The Farm, which is a real longboard wave. Okay. Like it's a full long ride, and it's hard to get on those waves, but when you get on them, they're a fun ride.
Yeah, right.
So it's interesting that you also had that kind of experience, and now you've probably discovered, all right, there's some waves out there that are more suited for body surfing.
Yeah.
And you're obviously living in Newcastle. What are you hitting up most weeks?
Flatrock, Carry Hole. Yeah, we're like urchins there, man. We're pests.
So it's in between two beaches, is that right?
So you've got Flatrock, which is the reef break that breaks outside and leads into Carry Hole. Mm-hmm. So like if Flatrock's big and good, Carry Hole's kind of too big. Mm-hmm. If Flatrock's too small, Carry Hole's good. And Carry Hole's like a really good wave for like little pipos or longboards or even like shortboards because it's not a very big wave, great shape, but it's over like this much water over rock, so it's really hollow. So you still get a fair bit of power from not too big of a wave. So yeah, that cove is Carry Hole, and then on the outside is Flatrock.
Speaking of pipos, mate, you go by the handle Owen Surf Craft, is that right?
That's me, yeah.
And you do shape a lot of pipos.
I do, known for it.
And so do you think you're more of a pipo guy than a body board, a hand plane guy or a hand guy?
It's very rare that I body surf with a hand plane. I'll make them for people.
Yeah.
I still get orders for them. But I don't body surf with a hand plane myself.
Yeah.
If I'm not freehand body surfing, then I'm riding a pipo.
Yeah. So the orders you're getting, because Wolfo, our executive producer, sent me through some pictures of some handboards. Do you call them handboards or hand planes?
It's a big debate.
It's. I mean, I'd call them hand plane. Myself.
Yeah. Because you're planing. You're not boarding.
It goes on your hand and you're playing, and the rest of your body's the board in that sense, I guess. If you think about it like that. No, I'd call them hand planes.
So you get a few orders in. I saw one the other day. It was like really 70s or 80s inspired. It looked like a little mini Mal almost. It was like orange and purple and like had flowers on it and things like that. Yeah. Are you getting involved in the design process? Are you painting these things?
Absolutely. Yeah, everything start to finish.
And what's your inspiration for that?
For art or the shaping?
Yeah, the art.
I come from an art background. A lot of the time it's custom. Like every board I do at the moment is custom. I don't have time to stock an online store, so quite often people will say, I want this with a flower on it, or I want some blue triangles or whatever. Sometimes I'll get people say, paint me something that you think looks cool.
Yeah.
And coming from, like I said, I studied in graphic design, industrial design. I've always done art and sculpture.
Where
and
did you
stuff
study
like
that?
I did it through TAFE. Just
In Newey?
in Newey,
Nice.
yeah. And I'm a sign writer by trade, so
Cool.
I spend a lot of time in the art world. So
Nice.
art sort of just comes natural to me. So quite often people go, give me something that you want to see on there, and I'll just run with it.
It's great that you've been able to sort of combine those interests, your artistic flair plus your shaping. Now, what sort of shapes are you into at the moment? I guess your pipos, you're making big old beasts, things that you want to ride. But then when you're making hand planes, they're for other people. They're not for you. So are people sort of niggling you and saying, I kind of want this, I kind of want that, or are you still sort of having a bit of a say?
Depends on the client. Sometimes you'll get people who have a very, very specific thing in mind that they're really, really certain on. That's fine. It sort of takes the guesswork out of it for me. Other times I'll just use my Instagram feed as like a menu and just be like, just flick through and find stuff that you like and we can mash it together. I've done custom stuff for people who have, completely different shaped bodies. So I take measurements of people and make things to suit that. And there's a fair bit of custom work in it, but I typically have like a good set of my blended curves that I've drawn myself, and that's kind of like my basis of building boards is like, okay, we can do this entry curve, and then it's a bit too sharp on the outside rail, I'll blend it with this curve, and then if that matches his dimensions or her dimensions, then sort of build it from there. I do have like stock standard templates though, and I'll just say, do you want a swallowtail booger bullet that's this long, that wide, yada yada.
Nice.
And they'll be like, yep, easy, done. But I do prefer the custom ones just because it is a little bit more interesting. If I was just going to be knocking out 100 the same, then I'd just CNC machine them or something. I wouldn't bother hand cutting 100 of the exact same things. That feels like work.
So everyone's individual. Everyone's got its own unique.
Yeah, the last couple of years, I've just done custom work.
Yeah. And what are you using for straps?
I used to make my own straps, and it was really good. There was like these tie-down sort of things you'd get from Bunnings, and they were like perfect waterproof, like kind of like a ratchet strap. That'd be the base, cut it to size, heat weld the edges, rivet, all that sort of stuff.
Hot rivet them in?
I'd put like the riveted grommets in and then self-thread into the actual wood.
And it holds tight.
There's a million different ways to do it, but they stopped making that strap and I've only got a little bit left. And I bought as much as I could find when they discontinued it, but I haven't really been making many hand planes. So I'm like happy about that, because as soon as that strap runs out, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta go back to the drawing board on that. And
it'd be cool to make a pipo with 2 straps on it, and you just
done it. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it. And you can like Superman style.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I
love the innovation. Oh man, Hamish, we should bring you into the conversation. You've newly moved to Newcastle.
Yeah.
How are you liking it up here?
Newly moved. I've been here for almost 2 years now.
Oh wow.
I'm a bit of a vagrant at times at the moment. Loving it here. Love it around here. Good vibe, good people.
Did you get an invite into the Flatrock Invitational tomorrow?
I didn't. As I said, I've been a bit of a vagrant. I don't think I've really surfed with anyone up here. Bit of a lone wolf surfing when I can. I mean, having a 1-year-old makes it a bit more interesting. With the amount of times I can get to the beach. So.
Kids seem to be really stuffing up the body surfing community at the moment.
Altering, I think.
Altering.
I'd like to say.
Put it. Yeah.
Altering the way we approach the beach.
But you're getting your kid in the water, so that's nice.
Yeah, try to get him in. He got in quite a bit last summer. Got down to the pools quite a bit when it was warm, but then the water started to cool off and he didn't enjoy it. So we don't push our luck there. We'll get him in eventually.
I got my niece, all decked out with Budgie Smuggler rash shirts and swimmers and all that stuff. I took her down south to Wollongong Beach, and it was blowing a gale. It was windy, and
that happens.
She just, I think I've done some damage. She's traumatized. I don't think she ever wants to get into the water again.
I think the last time we went down, we took Harry down to the beach. All the stars aligned. It was a beautiful afternoon, and it was nice to get on the beach. Got to the beach, blue bottles everywhere. So I went on. I guess that's it. So,
but that's what, I remember as a kid just having a hot shot, piping hot boogie board, and my dad would just fucking push me onto
Yeah, it's a
10
rite
foot
of
waves.
passage. Yeah, exactly.
That's how you learn.
If there's a blue bottle out there, well, you got to learn that blue bottles hurt.
They're going to sting, yeah.
My biggest fear in life, I've only been stung twice, and only recently I've been stung, and I don't know how I got away with it for so long. My biggest fear in life is taking a breath and one going into your mouth.
There was a Bondi rescue episode or something. I think I remember someone had swallowed one. Yeah, that's not a nice.
I've got one tangled in my stash once. We were filming for that Brazilian body surf thing, Home MPX or something.
Yeah.
He came here and did a day of filming Flatrock. This is probably like 5-10 years ago. And I come up from underneath a wave and a blue bottle got stuck in the moustache hairs. Oof. And my whole top lip like swelled up like real fucking fat. Like it was like I had injections and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Man, women pay a lot of money for those.
Yeah, just go for a swim, man. Yeah.
There's a new business model, eh?
Now, I don't know if you guys have been listening to the podcast lately. The last episode went a bit 2GB. It was a bit conservative. There was a lot of opinions that were being floated out there, especially by our other co-host, Owie, but also Uga, who has now become this right-wing nut job when it comes to the world of body surfing. I don't want to get too into things, but I just want to get your guys' opinions about, I guess, what's happening in the world of body surfing, especially with what just happened in Hawaii and the future of sort of comps, because tomorrow, Owen, sounds like a real great time.
That's the best.
I mean, it sounds like we're going to have a barbie, we're going to have a chill, we're going to have a chat, talk some shit, jump in the water. And that's what, honestly, that's the only reason I do what I do.
Yeah.
But there's been some talk about, people taking competitions a bit too serious, all that sort of stuff. I think people are angry at me because I'm currently the 43rd best body surfer in the world, and it's only because I've only ever been in one comp and all that sort of thing. We've also got Ricky's comp coming up soon at Urban Surf in Sydney.
Yeah, I saw something about
so we're going to be heading over to Homebush to jump into the artificial waves soon. And, I've been pitching this idea for ages. I wanted to call it the Budgie Boy Classic. Ricky got in first, and I mean, Ricky's got the power to sort of make these things happen more than us. So I'm so glad he's doing it. I'm very excited. I actually tried to sell my spot to D. Kelly because he didn't make it into the comp because there's limit. And he said he said he'll come and commentate.
Oh, very good.
I think we're going to have D. Kelly on the microphone, and but yeah, a lot of stuff coming up. I guess the Australian Body Surfing Classic. There's been talks about maybe taking that somewhere new. So, boys, what have you heard? What's in the rumour mill? What do you know, and what are your thoughts and opinions on what's been going on?
I mean, I've always maintained with competitions that I go to have fun, to see the community, be there, and everything. And I get that. With competition comes, people are going to take it seriously as well. But my position is if I'm not having fun, I probably don't want to be there at the end of the day. Not to say that some competitions aren't fun. I mean, I haven't competed for a couple of years now, but I think everything that I have been in so far, I've gone and enjoyed the day. Haven't had a win or anything like that. But, Flatrock and Ricky's comp, they both sound like they're genuinely, people are going there to have fun and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got the comp that was over in Hawaii not too long ago, and there was some fantastic footage that came out of that. Like that wave is just built for body surfing.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic, and there has to be a pinnacle of the sport. But I also think that it's so much more enjoyable having a day where you go out, have some fun, meet up with some mates, have a sausage sizzle, and have a couple of beers after, maybe.
Yeah, that's it for me. I'm probably the least competitive person around. The only reason I go into Flatrock comps because I'd be there doing it anyway. It's just I get the same waves that I'd be there riding with 3 other guys instead of 20. So the comp scene. I've not paid a single bit of attention. I don't even watch sport. I don't watch sport. I don't watch the surf tour. I don't watch anything. So the comp side of things for me is so far off my radar.
Now you say you're not competitive, but you've won a few of these things.
Just because, I got lucky. I got lucky. The one year I won was the first year Corey and Ricky and that came, and just the final. The waves I wanted came to me.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and like when I was the year before that, I think I came second twice. I got the trophies home. I came second twice, third once. I'm always just off it sort of thing, but it's not because I'm out there being competitive or anything. It's just when you surf a wave for so long, and back then I was body surfing every single day, it's not a surprise that you sort of get good at riding that wave. So when it comes to a comp, you just know what wave's going to come to you and how to ride it sort of thing.
Well, and this is going to be the point of difference for this wave pool comp, because you're going to not be fighting for waves. You're going to just be lining up, getting wave, go, go.
I think it's really interesting in the design side of things as well. And it probably makes a lot of sense in the comp side of things, because it takes the randomness out. If every wave breaks pretty much the same, then it's only solely on the rider's ability. You know, you might have a comp where like it's a 25-minute final and the best guy out there gets 2 waves.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get the ones he's wanting.
Yeah,
and he
well,
doesn't get the ones
I mean,
he's
that's
for.
been happening a lot in the WSL recently, is that like the whole heat, nothing happens, and then, you know, and there's a lot of controversy about that going around as well. So, but I mean, the way that the comp at Urban Surf is designed, where it's you're not getting scored while you're surfing, I think it adds a bit of an element of mystery to while you're surfing what you're doing, because I was at Urban Surf the other week, and you actually don't have a great view on what people are doing on the waves because of where you sit in the water and things like that. So I hope at least it really tailors that to having a really fun time. Yeah. And then when you get out of the water, that's kind of when it gets a bit more serious and the competition kind of starts.
Okay, right.
So
shit talking starts.
Yeah, exactly. Because I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure you submit your best clips that get filmed, and that gets judged afterwards.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So. I mean, I could be wrong here, so don't.
Mate, I've been trying to book some commercial work, and you got to do self-tapes and send them into like agencies.
Okay.
If we're going off video footage, I'm not booking a thing, so I'm in big trouble.
But that's the thing, right? So you don't actually know what's going on while you're out there. So it's not like when you're sitting out the back in the final of a thing, you know someone else has got a score and you need to get on top of them. Right. You just go out and have the fun and get the best ways you can. So, you know, it'll be a different thing to do, but I'm excited for it.
Now, Owen, with Flatrock, do they send 10 people out at a time? How many people are surfing at once?
It's like typically heats of 5.
Heats of 5, okay.
4 or 5, depending on the numbers and how the breakup is. And then like when the I think the orange flag goes up, which is 5 minutes left, the next heat hits the water and just sits in the channel. Yeah. And just does the swap over.
And a lot of comps are using this app to score and get live updates and stuff. I don't think Flatrock do that at all on a
we
whiteboard.
Usually just have a bunch of boys on the wall.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to basics as well. It just kind of works the same way.
And we've had like some pretty sweet judges. I remember one of the comps we had a few of the guys from the bodyboard tour judges.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and they were like full proper. Before that, it was just like, all right, who's up to judge? So
Mate,
it's not like
who's warm enough to judge? The wind's whipping through. Who wants to go and sit out?
If Rowan Churchill's not here tomorrow, I'll give the game away. Like he's the best judge in the biz. I wonder who the judges are tomorrow. Have you got any inside goals?
No idea.
That'd be good. I'm very excited to see what it's all about. This competition has fascinated me since I first heard about it when Corey got the invite years ago. I've not ever had an invite. Hamish hasn't got an invite.
It's a bit elusive in the back of my mind.
I mean,
so I'd love to come
sort of just got to float around until you
that's
get
what
it,
I've heard.
I think.
I think Owi's done some dodgy little deals to get he snuck in somehow, and I hope he does well. But I'll enjoy the day from the sideline, maybe commentating, calling it, and having a sausage sandwich. What is the food situation like? Because that's the most important part of the day.
One of the boys brings a barbie.
Yeah.
Another one brings like an esky.
Yeah. Should everyone bring something to contribute?
Nah, bro, we already got that.
It's all good. Man, this is
what you want.
This is what I love about body surfing. Even the comp Ricky's running, it's a pretty cheap entry fee. Plus you get food, you get drinks, you get merch.
Yeah. You get a shirt too.
Yeah, Ricky's always pumping out some great merch, so that's going to be fun. Are you coming to that, Owen?
Nah.
Couldn't get any time off work or.
I just didn't bark up that tree.
Yeah. Not your thing. Have you ever surfed something like that, an artificial wave?
Not yet. No.
Are you interested in doing it?
No.
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 You just love Flatrock too much.
Well, no, I mean I just like surfing. Surfing.
It's a really, really interesting thing going to the pool because I don't think the waves you get in the ocean translate well to the pool.
Yeah.
But when you're in the pool, it translates well back to the ocean in a weird kind of way, like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not fully sold on wave pools. I think there's a time and place for them, but they're good fun to do occasionally.
For me, it's like when the first one opened up in Melbourne, everyone's like, "Oh, you can fly down there." It's like a quick flight, and it's just near the airport. It's like, just the beach is like 6 minutes from my house.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the surf isn't good, then I'll just go do something else.
That's it.
You know, and now they're like, "Oh, it's even closer. It's just a 2-hour drive." It's like, "Oh, it's actually kind of longer now." I drove past a lot of beaches with good waves to get to this chlorinated.
But I mean, I did it on Sunday night last week, and I left at just after 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and I was back before 10 o'clock at night.
How much does it cost just for a sesh?
It's all different for whatever level you do it. I think I did the advanced session, and I think it was about $110 or something. Okay. So it's not something I'm going to be doing regularly, but it's kind of like one of those treat things, I think.
For sure. Here's the thing for me. I live in Lane Cove now. I've moved out of the Shire. I'm living out north. My closest beach is either Manly or Maroubra.
Yeah.
And Maroubra is actually closer.
Yeah.
So I've been surfing Maroubra a lot, and Maroubra is always on. You know, it's a great beach, and there's always some options there. But it's, you know, when there's nothing happening and you're really desperate,
it's tempting, isn't it?
It's just for $110 for a guaranteed wave.
You'll get a barrel.
It's not bad.
It's interesting because I think a lot of people that I was talking to there are in that sort of same boat. They don't live near the beach. They're they're surfers, and they live around Sydney in different areas where it does take, you know, that good part of an hour to get to the beach, and it's that convenience.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
When we went with slide handboards to the Melbourne one, it was quite surreal because I was staying at the casino and I got an Uber at 5 a.m. to the airport to go surfing. You catch a wave, you've got to put like your wet swimmers. Also, it's freezing because it's Melbourne.
Oh, it's not much warmer in Sydney.
And I didn't want to take a wetsuit, right? Because you got to take it back on the plane. So we're in budgies surfing like a pool in Melbourne at 6 a.m.
with the planes flying,
and I'm like,
jump up and touch them.
And it's like, oh, that's mine. I got to grab that actually. But it was just a very surreal experience, and I don't think it's going to have the same effect in Sydney because Homebush is Homebush.
It's an odd place.
It's got a history of that sort of stuff. Like you know, it's got the Olympic. Like I wonder
that
if they'll
pool
ever.
That was like the whirlpool.
How good was that?
Was that? What's that pool called? It's not the Ian Thorpe Aquatic Centre. It's maybe the Dawn Fraser Aquatic Centre. Maybe the Harold Holt Aquatic Centre. I'm not sure.
No, that one sucks.
But we. Like going to Homebush to surf kind of makes sense to me. Like Melbourne, but also Melbourne. Like, where are you surfing in Melbourne besides like Bells?
Yeah, well, I think that's why it works so well in Melbourne. Again, it's the same sort of situation where everyone's going down the peninsula or to Bells or whatever, and going into urban surf is a much more convenient thing for them. But I think really the best way to do it would be to have a group of sort of maybe 5 or so people. You know, that 5 to 10 people where you could have enough people that you got one side booked, kind of, and then you got a group of friends, and you're kind of all doing it together. I reckon that'd be the sweet spot for it.
See, I've been surfing Point at Cronulla, and I've been surfing Maroubra, and I still don't know if I'm better left or right. So I'm left-handed, but
you do have to pick a side,
and you've got to pick a side.
And you've got to commit to it early.
I picked right because that's what everyone was doing, but now I'm sort of doubting myself, and I'm thinking I want to swap, but I think it's too late. But at the end of the day, you can just go tickle it and just...
Yeah, well, I picked the left thinking that it wouldn't sell out and it'd be an easier comp. But it sold out.
See, I should have done the same sort of thing because I think I would be just a bit more efficient on my left because I'm left-handed. But sometimes you catch a wave like at the beach and you don't know which way it's going anyways. And
it doesn't really
matter.
Again, it just comes back to having fun, and that's all I'm going for. So.
Hamish, you mentioned you've been on the stand-up surfboard a bit.
I have,
how are we going to get you off that and back into body surfing? Because I feel like you had such a close tie to the Goldie Sliders, and now you've moved away from there. And what's happening? We need you back on the bodyboard.
Yeah, moving from the Gold Coast has been a kind of a big change to my surfing lifestyle. I'm not getting in the water quite as much. Enjoying the stand-up board, probably a little bit too much. I tend to lean towards using that. Not saying that I'm any good at it, but I enjoy it. But, you know, when the occasion comes and the surf is right, I'm more than happy to chuck a pair of fins on and just go out and have fun. Yeah.
Owen, I guess we should ask you, what's in your floppy bucket, mate?
What I'm bringing tomorrow?
Well, all right, let's start with what you're bringing tomorrow, and then let's just talk about your general kit.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow you're not bringing a hand plane.
No, it's just a
your
wetsuit
fins.
and some fins. Yeah, some boy duck feet. Yeah.
Have you got a hooded towel?
Nah.
You're just rocking the old Sheridan beach towel. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
And okay, so if it wasn't a comp with strict rules, and you could just bring anything to the beach, what are you bringing?
Well, usually I keep a little bit of an arsenal in the back of the car. The good thing about the smaller boards is you can pack a heap of them in the boot. So I'll have asymmetric ones depending on if I'm going right or left. I'll have hardwood ones and flexible plywood boards as well, depending on conditions. A rolled up surf mat and a 5.9 quad if I'm got a stand up surf. So that's typically what I'll rock up to the beach with. Oh, and 2 skateboards. That's my floppy bucket. My Suzuki Swift is my floppy bucket.
I hear there's a nice little skate park around here somewhere.
There's a new one getting built. Just
I don't know if they've finished it.
Not yet. No.
I've brought my board, but I've only got boots. But I don't mind skating in boots. It's good. We might hit it up later.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely an expression session on the skaties going on mid-comp.
Oh, really?
On the board. Look,
tomorrow just sounds like an exhibition.
Got the skaties out, man, for sure.
It sounds like we should get back in the day, I was a big fan of all those, like, the X Games exhibitions where they'd put a half pipe on at a punk show, and there was these guys called Liquid Militia, and they would set up a pool, like a trough, and then a winch, and then they would wakeboard like a slider. Oh. And they would do things like that. You could book them to come and do events and stuff like that.
Liquid Militia.
Yeah, we got to get that stuff happening.
Liquid Militia back,
we got to start getting some winch riding happening.
We'll have a touring show around Australia.
Yeah.
Just body surfing, but just getting fucking towed and doing one barrel.
I go to a lot of monster truck shows because for some reason I'm really into monster trucks.
Aficionado, are you?
And they'll bring out the big motocross bikes and all.
Okay.
Like they got to start doing that sort of stuff. What is it, like Krusty Demons and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
But they need to bring some more water sports into
the exhibition flat ground body surfers being towed behind a bike.
Getting winched, getting towed behind a bike,
why not?
Hitting some grind poles.
The skin getting ripped off you when you hit the dirt. Ooh.
Oh man! All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun, guys. I reckon we wrap things up and we get a good night's sleep because it's going to be a big day tomorrow.
Sounds like it.
Hamish, are you going to come and
I'll
watch
try
tomorrow?
and show my face if I can. Yeah, it sounds
You'll
like
get an invite.
Yeah. Well, might end up in the water.
I reckon someone might pull out.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a nice day tomorrow.
There's always last minute pullouts, man. You chuck that vest on, get out there.
Dude, I'm very curious to see who's going to be there tomorrow. I'm hoping we can get a list of names soon because I want to start doing some research and trying to work out who's going to be there. Like a big name I've been hearing floating around because of Hawaii is Jared Bridges. You know, he's the next big thing in body surfing. Do you think he's making an appearance?
I think he's just moved up to Yamba.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he'll be around.
He doesn't mind a
He doesn't
trip.
mind a road trip.
Yeah.
He likes his road trip.
So I'm sure if he got an invite, he would be coming. But
I'm sure.
This is the unique thing about the comp, you know. They ask you. You
come
don't
from
ask
anywhere.
them.
You get the letter from Hogwarts.
Yeah, pretty much. And he always sends it to my business email.
Yeah.
So I don't get it half the time.
You just rock up anyway.
Hey.
Another Sunday morning.
Yeah.
My parents died in a body surfing accident, and I've got I'm destined for big things in the Quidditch body surf scene. Yeah.
I thought you were being serious for a second, bro. I don't know. I was like, fuck, what?
Alrighty, well, we got to get out of here. Do it all again real soon. We'll be coming to you live tomorrow from Flatrock in Newcastle. But for now, oh geez, we've
lost the camera.
Hey, all right. Do you guys know the sign off?
I do.
No.
All right, let's see how it goes. All right, we got to get out of here. Do it all again real soon. But remember,
it is always overhead when you're body surfing.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Hey.